So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so welcome and introductions. I'm Brandon. I've been a tech journalist for a long time. Happy to have everybody here in the server. And we've got a cool discussion today around scaling a startup. And I think there's a lot of information that can be shared from the people on the call and can be taken from the people who are listening in. So I'm excited to get started. Umesh, you want to go next?
Yeah, so this is Umesh from Pune, India, and I've been 10 years building embedded systems, including hardware and software. So thank you very much.
Cool. Peter, you want to go?
Hello, I'm Peter from Czech Republic. I am a hardware developer.
Cool. Mike, you turn.
Yeah, Mike Varian. I'm here in the U.S. My background for the last 20 years or so has been in the development and marketing and product management and technology strategies around IoT devices for most recently with Multitech and then with Advantech as well. And now I'm doing kind of fractional and consulting work on my own.
Cool. Is that Christoph with a haircut?
Hello.
You got a haircut, man.
Very nice. And bandage as well. Hope you're feeling better with the wound which you had earlier.
Maybe you can't hear us. All right. Navadeep, you want to say hi?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm from Bangalore, India. I'm currently in electronic design domain. Been around this for about a year and a half.
Great. And then Shrisha, are you there, or are you just going to be on quiet today?
Hi guys, I hope I am audible.
Yeah.
I am Shrisha. I am from Bangalore, India. I work as embedded hardware engineer. So I've been working for 2 years. Yeah.
Great. That's awesome. Well, I think that sort of. Oh, Navadeep, did you go? Sorry, I'm multitasking.
Oh no, I just forgot.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I can't even remember. Okay. So today, what we're focusing on is this concept of scaling up a startup. So early on in the days of I encountered Ramadani, who's joining us here, and he reached out to me last week asking for a little bit of help. And the startup he has is bootstrapped. It's REA Innovation Tanzania. They're doing some cool stuff. Essentially, they're creating portable solar and electric generators to help offset a lot of the brownouts and blackouts that happen in their region. So they're building all this stuff in-house. They're trying to keep the cost down, given the market there, about $100 a pop or a generator. And they've gotten to the point where it's becoming difficult to scale. So it's getting hard for them to, produce at quantities that generate a viable business. Here's some pictures of them over here on the side. I also have a quick little video. I don't even know if you guys will be able to see it, but this is them in the lab doing their thing. So I wanted to turn the floor over to Ramadani and see if he could explain a little bit more about the evolution of REA Innovation, how they got to here and some of the challenges that they're facing now, and then see if the group can discuss ways that we can sort of help them overcome some of those and keep growing. I know that some of us here built startups, so thought it would be a cool topic for today. So Ramadani, if you're there, if you want to talk and introduce yourself a little bit and let us know, what you're dealing with.
All right, great. Let me know if I'm audible.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, awesome. Hi everyone. Ramadhani Shafii. I'm born in Tanzania and raised in Tanzania, but currently I'm in Rwanda pursuing my degree of Bachelor of Software Engineering. But beside that, I have a good background that relates with tech innovation and entrepreneurship. So to make a long story short, um, I started in a school that prioritized about science innovation, and we used to have science fair competitions in primary, secondary, and high school. So from that point, I get a lot of engagement from people are passionate also in science innovation. Then I used to participate in those science fairs at some point with my friends who are really passionate about innovation and bring changes using technology. We join up the force. We keep winning those science fairs. We went outside the school. We participated in boot camp, STEM boot camp. We also win a lot of boot camps, challenges within the country, some were outside the country and online. But in 2022, after I graduated my high school. Then we keep on asking ourselves mainly one question, that was if our interest was about science, innovation, making projects, technological projects, then how can we turn these interests to commercialize them and we turn them into business? Then the passion of entrepreneurship began, and we started to dive in. Then REA Innovation Tanzania was then born with three founders, myself, Ramadani, Eliamani, and Andrea. So the word REA, REA, stand for our names, beginning with mine, Eliamani, and Andrea. So basically, everyone is passionate in different parts. I'm passionate about electronics, a little bit about software programming, but Andrea is passionate about programming, and Eliamani about mechanics. So we thought of joining ourselves will bring a very powerful combination toward our startup. And we try to find out what are the main challenges that our country right now, I mean our community in general, what are those challenges that they face. So after a partial and the prompt research, we realized that energy is one of the problems. But we just concluded within a team that REA Innovation is there purposely to create as many innovations. Renovation is there purposely to create as many innovation as they can, since there are a lot of challenges that we are facing in our community. So we started with energy, since it was I can say like a pandemic problem and challenge within our community. So from that point, REA was born, and I decided to take one gap year before I go for university. And for that one gap year, I volunteered to teach mathematics in one of the secondary schools. Beside that, I acted like a STEM trainer in different STEM centers in Tanzania, like two of them. One is called the Techno Hub, and I also joined in one of the entrepreneurship program, so as I can dive more deep about entrepreneurship and try to see how I can get more skills on how I can drive our startup called REA Innovation Tanzania. So from that point, we dive deep about energy, and we realize that there are main two problems that we are facing. One is about clean and affordable energy. So sometimes you may find some areas they are having really source of energy, but it's not clean. You may find some areas they have a clean energy, but it's not affordable to everyone. So our goal was to provide a clean and affordable energy. So you may find some people are buying product from China, and actually they are really clean, but sometimes they are not durable. They don't last long. So we did a research and found that most of the product that people bought people buys is of low quality, and they don't last at all, and most of them are very high. They are very expensive in such a way that most of the people in the community they cannot buy. So from that partial research, we try to dive deep, and looking more deep on my background, it's like 15 years have been living in a house that has no electricity at all. So from that insight, I just keep on pushing on how I can bring up electricity within our house, clean and affordable energy within our house. So I first bought a solar, and I tried to assemble using the inverter, and try to I bought batteries, inverter, and the solar, and try to at least supply the electricity within our home, whereby it can run different electrical appliances such as lights, radio, television, and all stuff. So from that point, I started to realize some weakness points about those products, and mostly they were from China. So it went 2 years after I just finished my high school. Then in 2023, early in the mid, I I was able to wire our house. To do wiring, and I was able to bring electricity within our house. And I did not study anywhere like how you can do wiring, all those components. I just did by my own self. Then from that point, it keep on encouraging me. Why can't I make this more big and bigger, despite I'm not well skilled? So from that point, we try to prototype some of the products, and maybe I can share a screen here. So we tried to create our first prototype of this backups inverter, and actually we made like 10
Are
of
you
them.
sharing your screen? Are you sharing your screen, Ramadani?
Yeah. Wanna share the screen?
Yeah, go try it now.
All right. So actually, this was our first prototype. That it was not actually more digital. It was kind of analog. This was the backup inverter that we tried to create it. It's only use a battery, any battery of 12 volts of any capacity, and you can be able to charge your phone, laptop. You can use you can just give it out any output. But for most cases, these were for 100 watts inverter. So mostly we were designing to supply in small business area, and to the market area, whereby they mostly use for lighting purpose. Then for only this product, only the inverter we were able to sell for 100 USD, and all those materials we will assemble them from the local materials, or sometimes we just buy direct from the shop, or we recycle from um, old electrical devices. So like this one was able to run this office, but it was just able to run the gun. The gun, soldering gun, and the light. But these other devices, like this is a pass to remove the phone LCD. It was not able because it has high watts. But there are other machines here it could not run because the power supply, the inverter, it was of low quality. So this was this was one of the testimonial that we supply our product to, and we try to collect some feedbacks. So another area we used to supply is in the barber shops. So we used to supply this inverter, and it really work, but it depends on the type of type of the load that you put in. So that is it about these backup inverters. And you can you can integrate it with a solar system in case if you're not using electricity to charge the battery. So yeah, that is it. But the only issue that we are facing right now, like we cannot able to scale this product actually in a large scale. And the another issue is we cannot digitalize this product. We are on the way to digitalize, but we don't have the right engineers and electrical engineers who can do it perfectly. As we are looking forward on way we can print them in China. So that's one of the problem. But in case when people try to order some product, we just assemble them manually. So sometimes we don't do it perfectly because we are all human, and we do make some mistakes. And sometimes they are not durable as well. But we're planning to make something that it can be like of more durable. It can use from 12 to 72-volt battery, but still give the standard output. It can give the standard current that's required. We also look at the way that you can digitalize it and put some screen to show the battery capacity, to show like the output voltage, the current, the frequency that's required. So that's our target, and so far I think we are still on a process, but I think we don't see any changes because it has been so long time still on the same area, trying to develop, but we are only ending up like assembling ourselves. Then the other issue is we were thinking like how if get different partners who can support us. Basically, if we get people who are supplying electrical appliances, mostly for solar inverter and the battery, we try to pack them in a manner way, and we try to supply also to the community, and we educate those people on how to use them, and we suggest the type of product that they can use. So packing them, we can brand ourselves from there while we are still as we are still generating money, and there is a cash flow. We can also keep on planning on how we can design our own product in such a way that they can be very cheap but durable, and it can be very helpful in our community. So that's was a long story, but I tried to reduce it and make it very shortly. So that is it. Yeah.
Thanks, Ramadani. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. So,
Yeah.
really quick, I know that there are several of us on the call who could probably who've experienced something like this, and who could probably give some tips on. All right, you're assembling things by hand. You're trying to scale. How do you make that jump? From all right, we've got a couple prototypes. People are interested. We've made a couple sales now. We don't have the capital, right, to go and build out a full manufacturing assembly team. So what are those steps? And I would think, Imesh, we'll start with you, if you have anything to add there.
For me?
Yeah. So in your experience, talking about what Ramadani's experiencing here, what he's facing, as your early stage startup, you're trying to get over the hump, you're trying to scale, what are the steps that you've taken? Because I know you've done this a couple of times in terms of starting a tech startup.
Yeah. So I think one of the major problem comes in developing economy, building product is we think that maybe the biggest dogma is whether to improve the product further. Like Ramadani says, he wants to go for digitalization in his existing product. Now the question is what digitization he means and what support he want. Number two thing is, does the digitization is very important for him? Because for me, I spent years and years where I did not make money because I thought maybe I would improve my product. But what happens is you have to take whatever the product you have in your hand, it's working, it's solving customers' problem, go ahead and sell that. So that's the thing, because that would bring a money. That's where you're gonna buy those sophisticated equipments, and that's where you can improve your quality. Volume would come later, because for volume, once you have a stable number of sales every month, every week, whatever, it's very easy to attract investors. It's not a problem. So see, for hardware products, always keep in mind you need to go to angel or VC path. Okay, maybe VC may not come in the process because I know how hard it is, but I'm very happy that he had a lot of mentorship across the local institution level. That's very good. Is you're very young, so I think right now, get the numbers, find out what number you want to sell, okay, and go after it, because the more you sell, more you understand what people's problems are, your customers problems are. And what happens is, no matter how many products would come from Europe, China, whatever, they would not solve the problem that your customer is facing, because most of those utility based problems are very, very unique. How, certain community uses electricity, it's very custom. It's So you will always have a scope, so find that one USP and pitch after it. And maybe once you have a cash flow in which you will be very happy with, where you will have that good equipments, where you can scale up, double down on your quality and the volume, then maybe it will be very easy. The product is very good. I think all what you need is just to come up with a number, what number you have to sell, what money you want in your account. Yeah. And there are some questions, like you use this word like digitization, what helps you want, what you mean by digitalization in your existing product. You said you need to add displays. Do you really need to connect to server? Because these are the things we have to understand. Does it really requires to my customers? Does this help me in the process of standing out my product? So these are the hard question you have to ask. Sometimes making your product very minimal, just you know have a simple product, easy to explain to barber, let's say barber shop. It's a fantastic thing. You have a huge number of barber shops, right? Because in a culture like us, everybody goes outside to cut hairs, and the volume is so huge, even if nobody sees significant. So list down the number, pitch the products, and not just the barber shops but some other shops, right? Repair shops, other shops, wherever the this electricity and utilities become a priority. Hospitals, I think, smaller clinics, right? That's because physicians affords, they have a money. So I think you have to figure out the clear path. And then also one more thing, find out though which are those markets where generator will add more value than going to B2C. Don't waste so much time with B2C. Find other businesses. Find out solar or maybe other peripheral business segment where your generator would add more value into their product. So if the other business buy in volume from you, you don't have this headache and pressure to go and focus on sales. You will do R&D, you will improve your product, and they will do the other business, the bigger business, who probably already have the volume. And you will be, I mean, you will be happy to invest your time in innovation rather than selling. Thank you.
He one thing that Ramadani brought up too, that came up a couple of times during his talk, was the supply chain, and how he was getting a lot of Chinese components that weren't necessarily the most reliable, and that presents another challenge, right? Okay, so you're trying to get up off the ground, and you're maybe not able to afford or even procure, right, components that are going to build a product that allow you to make a name for yourself and scale. So I'm not sure. I've never existed on that side of things, really on the procurement side. How do you stabilize a supply chain, especially in a developing economy, right, where there may not be, readily available alternatives? I'm not sure, Amesh or Petter, if you guys have any experience with that problem.
If I may, no, I don't have any similar experience, because I use the supply channels coming from the US basically, or from the Western Europe countries like Germany. So it's a completely different situation. I would like to give a piece of advice in that matter, but I don't know right now the correct answer. I just want to ask to Ramadani that he can anytime ask me. Let's connect on LinkedIn and ask me, or directly here on Discord server. So let me feel free to ask me for anything, and I will do my best to help you in the matter of anything hardware wise. But in that matter, in that question, I don't have an answer.
Amesh?
For me, I think it's very common, because the component that we love, we do not afford. This happens. Sometimes the component we want, they are not in the stocks. This happens in developed economy. Even came from Germany. I had very old fashioned bike in which I used to put my all the hardwares in the early days. Okay, sometimes I used to take a public transport because I lose all the money when I have to sell everything. So it was very hard. So my suggestion to you is, you know, take everything out in the market on the street. Go to every shop, get the shit whatever you have right next to you, put together, and go and meet as many people as possible and ask them what it takes you to buy this, how I can solve this, how I can help you with my products, and help me help you. Simple formula. Every time, even if they don't have any intention to buy, tell them I have this inverter.
Cool. There's Ramadani dropped his LinkedIn profile in the chat there if you guys want to connect with him, and then he's also in the Discord server is I think at Shafii Wanjenja. The person I want to ask now is Mike. I don't know if you've had a lot of or much experience with this specific domain, but I think overall your breadth of experience could probably be applied here. So take it away.
Yeah, my thought is, and I haven't had to face that kind of supply chain problem, but I think you've identified a target, a problem to solve, and you're identifying markets where you can scale and repeat that. I would probably try to avoid having to build a product to start. I would, we used to call it in a past life of mine, we used to call it a learn and earn strategy. So if we could, because I think you also can solve a problem, your value, creating value add, if you can source a product, because you're just going to have a cost problem trying to build in really low volume and then hand building and things like that. So if you can spend some energy, and it sounds like you already have, but if you can identify some low cost product, and maybe it has some problems that you can identify, and maybe you can improve on that product, do something to solve that, or you can at least understand it well enough to say, don't use it this way because that makes it break. Use it in this condition, so your customers are happy with it, and use that to get, like Umesh said, get as much selling experience as you can to really understand what those customers want and don't want, and what they'll pay for and won't pay for. And I think eventually you'll get enough scale, you'll create some revenue, and you'll get enough knowledge to say, okay, well, if this product just had these features, or if they could solve this reliability problem or this capacity problem, then it would be, this much better. And at that stage, maybe you're ready to start building your own version of that product, or maybe you have enough of a relationship with a supplier where you could go back to them and say, can you make a change to this for me, and create something special for you, so you don't have to get into the manufacturing business. So I think I would be careful not to get too focused on the idea of having to build a product for the market. As long as you can solve a problem in the market, how you get that product doesn't matter so much. And it sounds like you've already identified a number of things that create value. If you could find a product or a set of products to source, reliably and create value for your customers that way.
Awesome. Yeah. So I came up when Ramadani was explaining this to me, I'm like, sounds like you're becoming a VAR, like you might be becoming a value-added reseller. So Ramadani, can you explain a little bit more about that? I know you touched on it briefly, but experience with, potentially trying to source products from other places and potentially improve on them, and what the challenges you're having there are, and, what successes you found so far. I muted you, by the way, so you have to unmute yourself.
All right. Am I audible? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. So, actually, we have been facing a lot of challenges since we are doing a handcraft work. Everything we're trying to assemble them by ourselves, and looking at even the cover design, we're also doing ourselves. So we're trying to do. It was actually the first prototype that we decided to produce, I mean, to make them so as we can test if they really work as the way we have planned. So we tried to make 10 of them for the first time, and actually we collected some feedback. Some people are saying they're already working as the way we planned to them. It's because maybe the kind of flows that they were using, for instance, maybe for the barber shop, it doesn't need a lot of things, only a shaving machine. Also for the small business in the market, that they only need the light and our battery and our product. So it really worked for them. But for other business, for instance, if they want to use television at the same time, they want to use a radio, they want to use sometimes even heater, kettle heater, or sometimes they want to put some load um, that's above, I mean, that's higher compared to our inverter. So from that point, we collected a lot of feedbacks on our product. So we try to make others, but we make according to the uh, to the to the customer's needs. For instance, when a customer just come and tell us 1, 2, 3, I need an inverter that can back up electricity in case there is no electricity, and it will be running maybe television, radio, and maybe for lighting purpose or for a specific machine. Then we try to design according to the size that they want. So from that point, we have been experiencing a lot of pain point, like everything we are doing from scratch. Like we have to find, especially in a formulating a transformer, like the exactly size of transformer that's needed. Actually, we have been going. Um, we have been facing a lot of challenges from there, but all in all, so far I can just say in terms of numbers, almost like 30 plus we have been able to make those backups inverter. But from all those inverters, because there are a lot of them in a market, so we have a lot of competitors in the market. So they have been seeing also different kind of those inverters. So they have been also suggesting, why can't we have this kind of inverters, but they show the input voltage, the output voltage. So they kind of suggested like it must have a display. So we put that also in a consideration, and we try to make it more very smart, and at least when it look like something that's produced from direct from industry. So we have been reaching out different partners who will partner with them and see how if we can collaborate and try to produce them direct from industry. But the only challenge was we could not have enough capital and try to produce this in bulk. Actually, it's really costful. So actually it really hindered us in one way or another to grow. So we just ended up keep on building like normally, um, just with our normal hands, as we are looking more for the partners and see how we can be supported in such a way that we can collaborate and produce our product direct from industry. And we are currently looking for exactly the perfect product that can really compete and off cheap and a really durable product. So in terms of volume, I can say just 30 plus inverters we have been able to make them, and yeah, that is it.
Umesh, I know how much you love service businesses.
No, the moment Ramadani says he involved in customization, that's dangerous red flag in my opinion. You have to very clear whether you want to offer your customers the ability to customize or not. You have to be very clear. I sell these courses, why courses? Because I control, and I sell them as a product, not I don't listen with every other customer and sit with them with piece of pen and paper and customize it, because what happens is you lose your momentum. right? Then every requirement, one might say today you want display, the other guy you will meet next day morning, he will say he need an IoT in it, and the third one will come up with something else, and next 300 days you have 300 different questions in your brain, and you don't want to be distracted by these people. So right now, as I said, make it very clear who you want to sell, calculate how many those customers are there. Even if it's a barber shop, never underestimate the barber shops as well, right? Just find out where your product will solve the problem. It's not about quality and quantity and all will come directly. It comes by itself, I go down the same building, if I go right now at the downstairs in the parking, I have a 4 5 investors there. So that this is what happens once you reach to the point where people knows. So, but in the beginning you have to know where your product, and stay away from customizations, because these are very unhealthy. It will put us in very difficult situations. We lose the focus of a business as well as technology. And if you want to go for servicing and customization, then make your mind and tell yourself you are in a service business, because that's where then I think the scaling become a problem, right? In servicing. So it's like it backfire. You have to very careful. Are you a product person or service person? If you're a product person, what my product is, and then who is my customer. And then it's not like you have to stay with the same customers. You can level up your customers, but everything has a time. When is the right time to pitch which customers? And don't meet the people who might have a different expectations. Rather set up 4 more meetings with the people with the potentials to buy. So that that's it.
Cool. Ramadani, can you, in very specific terms, like very briefly, say what you could use help with right now?
Yeah.
And you're muted again, by the way.
Sorry, come again.
Sure. Can you say very specifically what you could use help with right now?
All right. So actually, to be specific, the the only help that I need is a right partner to work with, who can be able to design the product together, and as well looking for a supplier um, who we can supply together these inverters and the battery and the solar system, because currently I thought like we can have our own pack, but buying the material, buying this project, this product, and I will try to pack and find an innovative way that it can really be a good business model that we can supply to Tanzania. Yeah, so those are the mainly two things that I'm looking for. Yeah.
Okay. Umesh, do you think that you and Pallav might be able to give some input on the supply side?
Pallav is a right person. He does a lot of help
I
to
told
my
him.
business as well, because
Yeah,
I
I
take
told
a
him that
help
he should
from
reach out to
Pallav.
Pallav.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Pallav maybe even help him in a cost reduction, because he did it for three of my products. So he is a right person. Product is good. I think, Ramadani, you also have to take suggestions from Brandon about the sales strategy and refining your customers. Just make it very clear, because once you have a cash in hand, because you have a product that solves the problem in your demography, okay, and the other customers, maybe they have a product but they don't have a reach which you have. Okay, it's a lot of problems which other business has to go through. Okay, even if you source the product, I don't know how good the logistics are. Even if you take the foreign product and make the way out, I don't know all those things. So maybe sometimes it's possible. And what Mike says is also you have to keep your option on, because you're very young. It's a beginning. Take, even if you have somebody else's product, Chinese product, European product, whatever product, you see the value, keep both products, have a Chinese products and have a European product. Go to them and say, and also tell them, I have this my product as well. Tell me what you love. Tell me what you want to buy. Go, you're very young, and learn about this industry, the power and solar. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I've go ahead, Amish.
yeah, and the good thing is if you get a little bit of institutional support around your universities and all things, that is good enough. Don't think about capital. If you have a product that solves the problem, capital comes. So right now, just be go in a survival mode and just go and try and sell. Talk to as many people as possible. You have a Peter there in Europe, you have a Mike in the United States, you have me in India. If you find somebody who has a potential, why not just draft an email and tell, I will give you a call, somebody who is in a solar supplier, and I would ask for you, right? Do you want this generator? Tell me what it takes for you, right? It's just a simple business. Find out what it is that make your inverter so that we all could have in stocks, right? Make your inverter that I would keep it in a stock in the backside, right? In India.
The I said to Ramadani when we were speaking earlier that I think Pallav is the person you need to talk to, both in terms of design optimization and then also helping with the supply chain, from east to west. I think that's a really good place to start. He's got a lot of experience in this. So I'll make a connection between you two and see if he can get on the call. But yeah, I just want to say every time I talk to you, I'm super. I don't know the words to use, but I'm super impressed, and it's great. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you've got help. So yeah. Anybody have any additional thoughts or words or advice that they'd like to impart?
Don't stop, keep doing it. You're very young, you will make it. Right product, you have a right product, you are at the right location in Africa. Don't give up, even if it's a side hustle. Keep pushing. Buy inverters, sleep with inverters. You will make it. You're very young.
Anybody else? Shusha?
Yeah. So I feel like you are a university students. I would suggest like you connect with other students, someone who can do the marketing stuff. I feel like all three of you are engineers, so I would suggest find someone who can do the marketing, who can talk with people, who is good with people, and connect with them, and like offload those things to those people, because as an engineer your work should be engineering rather than doing all the communication stuff and all. At least try to make it less, like 25% or 20%, like that. So at that time you can concentrate on your product, you can improve it, you will get the time to improve it, and offload the things like marketing and problems, gathering Q&A, like those people. You can offload this, I would suggest, because since you are in university, I would feel like you can find people with the right mindset, because there are so many students who will be, you can any exhibitions, you can give up exhibitions on these things, and ask for help as well, or from your professors who can handle these kinds of things, because I feel like it is a necessary to have someone do this rather than take engineers taking this job, because it will simply kill the time where you can actually improve the product and spend time on it, the product itself, rather than talking with people, connecting with people, hearing about their problems. Those things can actually bring you down, like it can kill your mood as well. So I would suggest that actually, like, maybe include some more people in your team who can handle these kinds of stuff, and you engineers can concentrate on improving the product. And I would also suggest, like you were saying, customization. So I would suggest probably segment your product, maybe for different people, different things, and then prioritize which you can concentrate on first, selling it first and getting it to the market first. Maybe you can resell the existing product with some minor tweaks, or maybe educating people how to use them correctly. That also could be done. till you get the cash in hand, maybe, and then you can proceed with your ideas. That was also like Umesh, I think, has covered most of this. I think that would be a good strategy. I would say take an existing product, do some of your own work on it, maybe like wiring harnesses or something like how to fix fit and finish. You can improve it. Those kind of things you can improve. So maybe you can add your touch on it, because these days you can get so many white logos product from China as well. So you can brand it yourself in your name and your company's name as well. So maybe like do some research, get in touch with people from China. It's not that easy to get in touch with people from China. That's I feel like, because they are own like their own ecosystem, they talk their own language, so it's very hard, I understand. But if you can connect someone from maybe from AliExpress, there are so many people on AliExpress as well, like sellers. You can contact them, they are probably like they will respond. So find some products on AliExpress, these kinds of Chinese website where you can browse it, maybe like have a talk with them, talk the scales of thing, what you can bring it into a country. I don't know the logistic of things, because it's really hard in India right now. We cannot import Chinese stuff. So I don't know how that works for you, but maybe like you can have that option open as well, because I feel like you can brand you can get a white label product from China and brand it in your name for the start of the business, if that is the plan. Like if you want to first have some cash in the hand and then explore options before doing these things, you can do that as well. But if you want to go forward with your own product, then I would suggest like doing some R&D and then fixing your project to that point, like make a version of it. So fix it to that point. So like maybe like version 1, that is it, I am fixing the product, no more development on it. I have done the development, I have documented everything, so this is done. So this has to sell for me this much amount, only then I would start you can do it in background, but I would say like have a milestone where your product is done. So you have to have that mind, because I myself cannot do that. I keep on trying to improve it. So I don't know where it will go. So it becomes a personal project for me. These are all personal projects. This is not a person. But when you are in a business, you have to like put a milestone. Okay, this product is done. This is going to the market. So what is that point? You have to realize that point, and then I would say document it. Documentation is very important. So you document it. So when you have face the issue, you can solve it quickly. Yeah, I think that mostly covers. I am covering others points, I think. So yeah, this would be my suggestions. Yeah.
So the last thing I'll say, and just close this out, is I'm going to disagree with Trisha right now. I don't think you need to worry about marketing. I think you need to just finish your product, because frankly, what we just did, this is probably the most powerful marketing that you could ever have. You telling your story like this and then putting it out there. I think you just need to make sure that you have something to sell, right? You have something that's baked. Once you get that, me, Mike, a bunch of us, we all know what to do with this, right? So I wouldn't worry about marketing right now. I would worry about finishing the product, having something, figuring out what your business is, right? Whether that's doing value-added resale, or you're doing, you come up with a specific product that is just your base, and then move from there. So just take it in steps. You don't have to boil the ocean. So anyway, that's it. Thank you so much. I appreciate your feedback, and obviously you just made a bunch of good connections. So leverage them. Seriously, leverage them. Do not let them. This is the most valuable thing that you have, probably. All right. So back to our regularly scheduled broadcast. A couple new questions on the server here. Question about some sort of a HTTP request example for Raspberry Pi Pico. I don't know if anybody has familiarity with that, but there's the link, and I'm going to be uploading this deck to the Office Hours meetup thread for March 1st, so you can find the link in there. And then there's another question about the Kavli development kit. So if anybody has familiarity with that, Amit Chaudhary could use some help. Here's some community resources, which I moved up in the deck. We've got our GitHub, we've got demos. Peter made some scope recommendations a while back, and he also has a little mini guide on reflow soldering. So if you want to take a look, there's a link to that too. Some stuff about Pallav, there's his link, Ramadani, if you want to check out his site, but I'll make a connection for you either way. Navadeep has a great blog, and then some other resources there for you as well. So here's what we got coming up. I was saying at the very beginning that we got LinkedIn Live finally. It's like friggin' Fort Knox over there. We got LinkedIn Live finally approved. So we're going to start streaming this out next week. The next meetup, we're going to push it out over LinkedIn to our channels there. And then we'll start integrating additional social platforms for office hours in the coming weeks. We've got some demos lined up, and I'm going to start adding these demos as events in the server. So on Wednesdays, the demos are going to be showing up as events in the server. So if you're watching, you can, or if you're in the server, you can see them there, and then go ahead and ask your questions or whatever. Palava's Teardown channel, the jobs channel is picking up a little bit. So if you're either in search of or have knowledge of a job, throw it over there and help out your fellow developer. Other things, we finally nailed down a date for learning hours, which is something that Umesh is putting together. It's really tutorial driven. So instead of this many-to-many concept that we have right now, it's more of a one-to-many. Umesh, do you want to say anything about this again, just like at a high level, like what the goal is and how it's going to go?
Yeah. So basically, learning hours is where the goal and the idea is to take out what I know. Like I have been working on so many things over past 10 years that includes several different protocols and use cases. So I'm trying to make one-to-many settings and trying to cover as much demo as possible to demonstrate technology and fully functioning and working code. So if somebody finds some topic interesting, then they could come and join. It would be basically, as the name itself says, learning hours. So the whole goal is to learn and to teach and understand. It's the goal is a demos, right? Like let's say you have an energy meter. So sometimes you might see me. I would take the real energy meter, which runs 230-volt AC, and I would connect the Arduino straight away live on the cameras and taking line current, line voltage, and all things. So that's basically the goal is. So let's see how many great demos we will bring up to industrial demos. So the goal is to basically to document in some way where people have the ability to see what actually happens in a real development. But in very early days of the learning hours, it will be more of a building the basic technical building blocks. So first couple of weekends, we will be covering up different protocols like Bluetooth, Ethernet stack, Wi-Fi stack. So these are like basic stacks, and then we will go up to Modbus, CAN bus, this kind of things, like whatever possible. I cannot take the car on a camera at the moment and then connect the OBD connector, put up the Arduino there, but that is what the goal is. Even if I have to go off the camera in the parking and do it in the afternoon, it would be difficult, but that's what we wanted to do, because you can have a lot of smaller projects, but you don't quite see where that technology will be applicable into the end product. So that's in the long term is this goal, that for me, I would get opportunity to work on a real use case, building those use cases and documenting it. And for you, because I am doing those efforts, you can able to see the final application of those technologies, because we as a technologist always curious what happens, what challenges we face if we try to do, because we don't have that much time in life to try every technology. Even if we are curious what happens in the end, even I don't have that much capacity by myself, but maybe I would just do the extension and continuation what I did past 10 years. So that's the learning hours is all about. And the hardware that I'm planning to use is a basic and generic modules, no special tools. So you will find Arduino, STM32, ESP32. That's the commonly available hardware that can be used in a prototyping. So
Cool.
So that's it.
Thank you. I'm one of the most impatient people I know. We still keep moving forward. I'm trying to secure the space in Bangalore. Palav told me that he had a good meeting and that we look like we're close. But once that happens, we'll be able to make some additional progress elsewhere. Now, really quick, we only got a couple minutes left. Anybody have any suggestions what we can do to get better by 1% at least next week? Already operating at 110. So, all right. And then any questions, proposals, requests from the community? Anybody need anything? Anybody have anything that they want to share? Great. Okay, guys. Well, next meeting's a week from today, as always. So thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I love talking to you all, and see you in a week.
Have a good weekend, all.
Have a great weekend. Bye.